So we've covered quite a few things and our agenda has gotten shorter and our pointer has now moved on to the Google Doc icon. So to create a Google Doc, you can do that from Drive or from the Waffle or Grid in Gmail. When you do that, you're going to click on plus new from the Drive and then click on the Google Doc. If you are doing it from Gmail, you're just going to click on the icon from the Waffle. So once you've created a Google Doc, you have all kinds of tools within that that allow you, basically it's all your word processing things. So here we are in an untitled Google Doc. Typical word processing tools at the top, but there are some things that I would like to bring to your attention. So for example, if I wanted to find an image and I, don't know what I'm looking for, so I'm going to click on search the web. Give this just a second and then I can type in here and now I have lots of images and I didn't leave the Google Doc at all. I'm still in the Google Doc and I'm going to pick an image, and then what you can't see at the bottom is there's a little insert button, but you can also just click and drag and it will create the image right on your page for you. Then of course you can resize it and you can choose how you want the text wrapping options, etc., like you could any other image. So that's easy enough, right? So, but let's say you want to locate how you want to put in some resources and you don't want to go back and forth between the internet and back and forth. So down here at the bottom is a little square with a star in the middle, and I'm going to click on that. And if I type in so now I have found web links, I've found related images, and anything in my Drive. So if I wanted to add any of these things to my document, I can click and then it automatically opens. Or if you notice that there's some little quotes up here, I can also cite it as a footnote. So you have the ability within a doc to search for images, go on the web, find related materials, and you can close the box if you need. You have other tools, again, which you can look at. You can also insert anything you already have in your Drive or your photos, or if you find a URL, you can do that as well. You can add tables and all kinds of things. You also have all of the styles that you can do, titles, you have fonts, all the normal text editing tools that a word processor has. So let's say you create this beautiful thing and you want to share it with someone. So you're going to click on the share button at the top, and when you do, when you hover over it, it has a lock, which tells you it's private and you're the only person that can see it. So if I click on that, I have to give it a title. And now I have the ability to share it. And again, this sharing is exactly as it was when we were talked about sharing in the Google Drive. You can add people here and decide what they're going to be allowed to do. So are they going to be allowed to edit? Can they just view it or can they comment? But if you were going to share this with an entire class, you would want to use the link option rather than have to add individual students in the top portion. So here's just a refresher on sharing the file, and you have two ways to do it. And just remember that when you're looking for people in their contacts, always pick the one that has the email.vccs.edu. Again, you have choices: viewer, commenter, or editor. You can also give temporary access. You can change, you can give the document to someone else, make them an owner, or you can throw it in the trash. Advanced options, notice that here you can actually take away the ability for people to download, print, or copy it. So if it's something you really just want someone to view, you can take away the option to download, print, or copy. So now once you've had that document, you can ask for edits. So when you're editing it, you know, you're adding things or whatever. However, the second option is actually suggestions. So edits become suggestions. So anything, you type it in, it changes the color, and then you as the document owner can approve the suggestion, or you can delete it. And that's these boxes that you see here. So suggesting, and then it highlights it, and then as the owner, you can approve or delete the suggestion. Also, you see that the document owner will receive an email with those suggestions, so that way you can go right to it so that you know someone has done it, and it kind of gives you a warning. Commenting. So if you want someone to comment on it, which is slightly different than suggesting, but it's a little bit different. So a comment is going to go off to the side. So I can add a comment, or you can also now suggest edits. So you have a couple ways to suggest those edits if you want. So you can highlight the name, and then you're going to get the option to either add a comment or suggest edits. When the comment box opens, you can type your comment in. If you use the @ symbol, that's basically going to give that person an email that says you have been assigned a task in a document. And that way they receive notification that you've asked them to do something, or you want them to take a look at something. So sometimes I use the commenting so that I can tag someone to come take a look and say, hey, what do you think about this? So you can use that. And notice that you do have the option to check that little box. So your @ mention will add people to this discussion and send an email. So it kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. So we're going to have a little fun, and Forrest is going to put that bit.ly link in the Zoom chat. You can click on it and you have access. And you can add answers to that document. You can comment. You can assign it to me, Forrest, or Wesley. And you just do that by highlighting, and then you use that @ symbol, and then start typing a name, and we should come up. You can also add an image using that image search that I did. You can also use the Explore box to locate anything web-related or a web-related resource. So I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to take a peek at that document and have some fun. So, ready, set, go. If you happen to be looking at the Zoom window now, you can actually see people typing, and you can see some names, and you can see there's been some images added. And if you look at the top, you see, can't tell who everybody is, but you can see that there are people in the document. And you can also, you know, take a look, and you can copy and paste the questions and move them around. And Lisa has made a suggestion, and I could accept the suggestion or reject the suggestion. So you have all kinds of things that you can do within a document, and it's all being done simultaneously. So we're all doing all of this, and I can, you know, move things down. I can. Now, the only thing I will tell you is, because we're all in here and kind of working at the same time, it can get a little crazy, but it's tons of fun, because this allows you to, you know, you could actually use this in a Zoom session with your own class. I highly suggest that, you know, you might put a little space in between the questions, unlike what I did, so that people have a little room to work. So using this really helps to, you know, it's a totally collaborative thing. You can give a certain part of a document to a student, and that way they could complete it at the same time. And then when you were finished, you would have a complete document. You could use it for a study guide. You could have different students working or taking notes in different parts, so that when they were all finished, they would have a completed study guide, but they didn't actually have to type the whole thing out themselves. Okay, so our 3 minutes is up.